Yo, YouTube, what it do? This your boy Tez, man. Hot Dimes TV, where you know we bringing that fire, and you know we keeping it a hundo. Hey, I miss y'all. You know what I'm saying? I ain't posted video since the Super Bowl. That NBA starting to heat up now. You know, you got some little rumors and free agency and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that with the football. So we're going to continue to cover that. But now it's really time to focus on the NBA because, you know, after All-Star break, that's when it get real because all the games start coming on Sunday. So let's jump right into some NBA. Who the best team right now on both sides? If you have to pick two teams on both sides, the East and the West, who you going with? In the East is easy for me. You see the hat. 16 games in a row? We're going to get into that later. And then after that, I'm going to go with Boston. So in the East, I feel like it's very easy. Now, the West is where it gets tricky. I'm going to give Denver their respect. I know it seems like a lot of times that we don't respect them, which is true. A lot of people don't respect Denver for some reason. I think it's just because they haven't had that much great success in the playoffs, even though I know a lot of it has had to do with, you know, them not being healthy besides, you know, Jokic. And one thing that we can't say, I don't want people to, you know, get this confused. Jokic performs. He performs in the playoffs. He just doesn't have any help. But let's say, like a lot of people are saying this year, let's say he wins three Super Bowls in a row, 3 MVPs in a row, right? With no final appearance, that's not good. It's no matter how you slice it, that's not good. They are the number 1 seed. So I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go with the Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns for the teams in the West. But I feel like you can make a case for several teams in the West. The Clippers, they probably one of the deepest, 2 or 3 deepest teams in the league. But you know they've been going on a skid. We'll get into that later. They haven't been, you know what I'm saying, winning games. You got the Grizzlies. They're loaded. They're deep. You have the Pelicans, of course, if Zion can stay healthy. You got the Kings. The Kings been balling. That's not a joke. Yes, the Sacramento Kings have been balling. So the West is pretty much open. And I was happy to do this because I was supposed to do this video 2 days ago. So I was about to say, and you got my Lakers too, because the Lakers are a completely different team now with the roster moves that they made. But then LeBron got hurt. AD didn't play the last game. So it's like, I don't know, because then that chemistry still might not be there. I still say they can make the play-in and then get into the playoffs, but then it's like these last games, 25 games would have been important to build that chemistry going into the playoffs, but they are actually a completely different team. So I just want to throw that out there. Then you got Dallas with the, you know, they went to the Western Conference last year. They added Kyrie, so I don't know. It's real tricky, but if I had to give you 2 answers, in the East, I'm going Bucks and Boston. That's for sure easily. I think probably most would agree with that. The Sixers got an outside shot, but I just got to see them get it done in crunch time. I don't see it happening. So the East, I can't see nobody else besides Bucks and Boston. And in the West, like I said, several teams, but I'm gonna go with the firepower of the Phoenix Suns, and I'm gonna still go with the Nuggets for right now. Now let's get into some of these games. We got to talk about Dame dropping 71. I think that man had 40 at the half. I think he had like 41 at the half, and when I saw that, I'm like, oh yeah, bro scoring 65, 70. I said 65. I said he gonna score at least 60, 65 tonight. I said he could go for the 82. He could try to go for my boy Cole record. If it was somebody to do it, I think most would agree that Dame would be a good option to go for that, you know, that kill for the 82. But he ended up with 71. You know, Donovan Mitchell scored 71 before the All-Star break. So it's crazy, man, the league that we in right now. And it's just good to see all this talent that we have. I would like Dame to go somewhere else. I know people get on him about, you know, being loyal. And I think it's a little too much. I think it's a little, the backlash that he receives is a little bit much. Now, he said something on Twitter like a couple weeks ago or a couple days ago, because people was like, yeah, you losing that life, or you losing, and how could you be loyal to them, and how could you? Now, to a certain extent, I get it, because as we can see in this day of age with these owners and these teams and stuff like that, they'll ship you out the door quick. So all that, I'm going to be loyal for 10, 20 years. I like that we in a different phase of the NBA now where players are, you know, a little bit more in control and making their decisions. And also, I think it's good too because a lot of these players, I want to see them win rings. I would love for Dame to get a championship, but I respect his view and his opinion. Basically, he's saying he's hooping, he doing what he got to do. He already made it at life, of course, with financial, you know what I'm saying, stability to change his life forever. Him and his family, he good, he happy. But I just feel like Portland needs to do a better job to get some talent around him and win. I just do feel like the rest, at the end of the day, in Portland, I don't see him winning the championship. I just don't. Now, imagine him leaving somewhere, how big of a change that would be in the NBA. Imagine, like, the top teams in the East, the top teams in the West. Dame is really like that. I don't think people understand how good Dame is. Like, besides Steph Curry, I'm probably taking Dame, even over Kyrie. And the reason why I say that is because we know Kyrie sometimes can have issues off the court. Now, I ain't saying that they all, you know what I'm saying, it's all his fault and everything is, you know what I'm saying, because that situation can get real complex. I'm just gonna leave it at everything not his fault, and I'm with him on a lot of stuff a lot of his points that he made. But we know when we get in with Dame too, and just like we know Steph the greatest shooter all time, it's not like Dame too far behind him. It's not like Dame don't be pulling from 30. Dame really like that, bro. Dame time, that's a real thing. So I just think people don't realize how good he is, and if he was to leave, I think that'd be a big change. Let's get into the Denver Nuggets, bro. Jokic might actually win 3 MVPs back to back. It's getting hard to. A lot of people say that they feel like the NBA is trying to force that issue on us. I think it's getting hard to where it's kind of hard to say why he shouldn't get the MVP. They're the number one seed. He balling triple doubles after triple doubles, and they're winning with those triple doubles. And he doing it. It's affecting the team. It's not like it's people keep saying he's stat chasing. I don't. Some people. Kendrick Perkins said something about accused him of stat chasing. That's crazy to me. I watched the last game I watched the Denver was earlier this week when they played the Clippers. I think that was Sunday. If I'm not mistaken, they played them Sunday and and it went to overtime. And he was hooping. He was balling. It wasn't nothing stat chasing about that. He was getting buckets, setting his teammates up, getting them open, getting his rebounds. And his defensive effort has been better. And this coming from a person who I was one of the people like, yeah, Jokic alright, or yeah, he pretty good, or basically dismissing him. No, Jokic like that. Jokic is a top 5 player in the NBA. Is he my favorite? No, but he's amazing. So I just had to get that out there, man. Denver, they looking pretty good. Jamal Murray looking healthy. Michael Porter Jr. is finally healthy. So that's why it's going to be interesting to see what they do in the playoffs right now. The Clippers, y'all, they picked up Westbrook. They got Eric Gordon. They got Plumlee. They got, I think it's Bolin. Something like they got some pieces where they team deep. I think the 3 deepest teams in the league are the Clippers, the Bucks, and Boston. I think those are the 3 deepest teams in the league. They got plenty talent. They got so many two-way players or players that can, contribute on both ends. We know what Kawhi Leonard do on both ends. We know what PG do on both ends. Marcus Morris is not a slouch on defense. He hit some shots for you. They got a lot of wing players. You got Powell, who will come in and give you 20 and still, got defense. You got Westbrook. They got a lot of pieces, and it's just like since they picked up Westbrook, they lost 4 straight. I don't know what's wrong. They're giving up a lot of points too. It's just I don't know what's going on there, bro. It's kind of crazy. I do like the pickup with the Westbrook. He came from my team, the Lakers, so that just wasn't a good match. It wasn't a good fit. I don't care. Nobody say. I'm not saying everything was his fault, but if you're watching the games, you can. It's just not. He wasn't a good fit with LA. Now coming to this year, coming off the bench, he played amazing. He did. Sometime at the end of the game, that's where it gets tricky though, or when you're in a close game, because those turnovers and his ability not to make shots is kind of crazy. I saw something this morning that wasn't. Somebody said it, and I kind of took a double take on it, but it wasn't bad. They said that Westbrook is basically turning into like a Ben Simmons, because now you're looking at him. And when he was in LA, I'm talking about just because now with the Clippers, since he's been with the Clippers, he's not taking those shots at all confidence. I'm talking about they sagging all the way in the paint. Last night, the game versus the Golden State Warriors, Draymond was guarding Westbrook, and he was practically sitting in the paint. He wasn't even, and it's bad when you wide open. And Draymond noticed himself. He said it where it's like you open for a reason. So some of them shots you take because you're in rhythm, but some of them you just sitting there looking for somebody to come get the ball, so it make you a liability. So I just think the Clippers thing is very interesting because now that Kawhi is healthy, you got PG. I think they're a scary team that can make some noise in the West, but it just seemed like I don't know what's not clicking there with them losing this 4 straight. Now, somebody who deserves some praise are the Sacramento Kings. Hold on, let me look this up because I want to make sure I'm right. Because the West is so tight, so it might have dropped from last when I looked at it. Okay, so no, they actually moved up. The Sacramento Kings are in 3rd place in the West. That is crazy. I think they got the number 1 offense. I think they got the, as far as offensive rating, for sure they number 1. De'Aaron Fox has been playing out of his mind. Is this a hot take? It might be a hot take, but I think this year for sure, De'Aaron Fox has been playing like a top 5 point guard. You would say like Steph, of course he's hurt. You would say Kyrie. You would say Damian Lillard. You could put De'Aaron Fox in there. The 5th one is always debatable. I don't know, but I'm for sure putting him in there for this year. Then Malik Monk, he's been balling. But the key to this whole thing has been Sabonis. Sabonis, y'all, is so underrated. His ability to pass the ball as a big man. His ability to still grab rebounds. Like he's a great rebounder and he can score. I would say scoring is, sometimes you will look at it and be like, man, he got 25. Because it'd be a lot of games where he had like 12, 15 boards with 10 assists. And it's like Sabonis is so good. And I was watching one of the sports shows and somebody made a great point where that Indiana trade with the Kings is probably the only trade you can say where both teams literally won, because Tyrese Halliburton and Buddy Hield balling in Indiana, and then you got Sabonis balling with the Kings, so they are both doing great. Both teams, I don't think nobody had them playing as good as they are this year. Now the Pacers, they fell off now, but for a while earlier this season, about halfway through the season, they was a top 5 seed in the East. Now they dropped all the way to 12th, which is crazy, but the Kings still holding it down at the 3rd seed. Now, I'm not going as far as saying I believe in them because I still got to see them in the playoffs, but they still young. They ain't got nothing to lose, so it's scary, man. I just want to give some love to the Sacramento Kings because I feel like a lot of people, was sleeping on them and haven't been giving them too much praise. You got the Golden State Warriors still. Steph being hurt. So it's going to be interesting. They still got the pedigree, championship pedigree. I don't think you ever want to count them out. And Klay Thompson is back looking like Klay Thompson. So that's where it gets real scary. I'm trying to think of anybody else I missed in the West I want to talk about. And then the Phoenix Suns, we're going to see what they do, man, with this KD thing. Now, this is my take on the Phoenix Suns. It might be crazy, but hear me out. Now, come on. I know y'all, a lot of people, some people that's watching this, y'all might not know me. But I don't wish harm on anybody. And I'm not saying I even want this to happen. But my biggest concern with the Suns, people are talking about their lack of depth, which I agree with to a certain extent. But my bigger issue is their health. Out of Devin Booker, Chris Paul, and KD, I don't know if they're going to stay healthy. Now, we say this about every team, but then when it matters, you know what I'm saying, it adds more weight to certain teams because of the injury-prone history or the players that we're talking about, like Anthony Davis, for example. So, of course, we'd be like, if all teams are healthy, then I'm going, A, or I'm going this route. But it holds a different amount of weight when you're talking about certain player. So just hear me out. Chris Paul, think about the last couple years in the playoffs, whether him not showing up or being injured is either one of the two. Houston, he got hurt. Them 2 games where it mattered most, where they still could even won. Beat that Golden State team with KD. I think people keep forgetting that series went 7. Then he was just up 2-0 versus my Milwaukee Bucks. A lot of people blame him for that. And when you look at a lot of the leads that have been blown, Chris Paul has been a part of that. Like, I'm talking about meltdowns in the playoffs. So I still think he's amazing. I probably would still put him at top 5. Probably it'd be like at my 5th spot. But but it's just at the end of the day, like I said, you look at these last couple of years, is questionable. You know what I'm saying, him showing up. Now Devin Booker, he hasn't, I wouldn't say be injury prone. It seemed like he's always got, like somebody said, like a hamstring injury, always kind of nicked up, which is true. But for the most part, he's been healthy his entire career. But when you look at this season alone, I think he's missed like over 20 games. So that's cause for concern. And then of course KD. Ever since his injury, he haven't not been the same far as the durability. You seen it besides that I want to say, what was that first year with Brooklyn? Or the first year with Brooklyn, he still was hurt. He was making his way back. But I think the year when he took Milwaukee to 7, that was good. But earlier in that season, he got hurt too. And when you look at the last 2 seasons, he got hurt right at around the same time where the Nets were like a top 3 seed. So now it's like, I don't know if all of them can stay healthy. And I think if one of them go down, it's over. Especially if it's KD. If the KD go down and it's just Chris Paul and Devin Booker, it's definitely over because they gave us so much to get him. And then if D-Book go down, I think we kind of find ourselves in a situation where Kevin Durant plays amazing again, but then they still lose. I think their best chance would be like if Chris Paul was the one to go down, then they still got a shot with D-Book and KD. So that's my take. I don't actually think they get to the finals this year. I think they get to the Western Conference Finals, and I don't know if they hold up. I just think something's going to happen. I don't want that to happen, but I really just, if we're going on history like we talk about with KD, with AD, you look at these last couple years, that's how it seemed to go. So now let's end this with 2 of my teams, the Los Angeles Lakers. Man, I was in such a good mood to do this podcast and talk about my Lakers, and then LeBron gets hurt, bro. Oh my goodness, we just can't catch a break this year. Now, I will say, the moves that they made, amazing. Because Mitch Kupchak, I was starting to get worried. But he did an amazing job with finally building the team that fits around LeBron and AD perfectly. You got shooters. You got people that can get their own shots. You got defenders. Now, let me tell y'all, everybody talked about D'Lo, the Hachimura pickup, a month and a half, 2 months before the All-Star break. That was a good pickup. Everybody talking about all these different Malik Beasley. No, the pickup, and of course it's easy to say this now, but I already said this beforehand. Me and one of my guys was saying, when I first, it actually is on a podcast too, in the video, I said I didn't know about that Westbrook trade if it was just D'Lo and Beasley. I said, but if they add Vanderbilt too, that's an automatic goal. And look what he been doing. Bro, he's so amazing. He's so versatile. And his defense and his energy, it's amazing. And then the scoring is not the strongest suit, but you will look up sometime and he had 15. So they really built a great team around them. I think now the bench, they got a little bit more depth because now you got Dennis Schroeder coming off the bench. You got Lonnie Walker. You got Dennis Schroeder, who's been playing amazing this entire year. He's been playing amazing. And Mo shooting 40% from 3. So the Lakers, man, they was looking pretty good, and then the injury happened. So now I'm kind of back at square one where I don't know how they going. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it's going to look like. They won the other night still. They came out the road trip, I think 2-1. So that was still good. And AD didn't even play one of those games, and LeBron didn't play 2 of those games. So that's pretty good. Like I said, I did really had them getting that 6th spot, but now I just think they'll get a play in. We didn't see what happened with that, man, but I don't know. But my Milwaukee Bucks, let's talk about something positive. 16 straight games. Drew Holiday been holding it down this year. A couple games Giannis didn't play. Middleton was hurt. Middleton now back, but he's still not even in true form yet. They got this man coming off the bench. Bobby Portis was hurt for a good month. He's back now. They added Jay Crowder. I don't care. That's underrated. He bring that depth. He bring that toughness like a PJ Tucker did. But the difference, he even better for us than PJ Tucker was because I think he still actually can defend better than PJ Tucker can. But most importantly, he gonna hit his shots. We have seen, if you look at that Miami finals in the bubble versus the Lakers, he played pretty good. He knocked a lot of shots down throughout that finals. And then with the Phoenix Suns, it was up and down, but he had a lot of games where it's like, man, this man really looked like he the best shooter on the court. So you work him in there, man. I just really think it's scary. I think it's revenge time from last year with Boston, and that's who I want to play. I want the Bucks to play Boston, and I want them to get their revenge because I just think Giannis, best player in the league. They built a nice team around them. They're getting hot right where it matters. 16 games in a row, ain't nothing to play with. Defense, they like top 3 in every category. And then when Middleton work his way back, I think it get real scary, man. I really do. I really think that it's about to get real ugly out here, man. So let's see what games we got tonight, man. I missed y'all too, man. I missed y'all, man. I missed y'all. We back with it, man. Consistently look for the YouTube shorts. If you don't follow my TikTok, I'm gonna put my TikTok up right here. Hopefully, I can edit that in there so y'all can see that. Make sure y'all follow my TikTok. It's Friday night. Let's see who we got tonight. We got Nets and Boston. That should be a pretty good game. Shout out to the Nets too. I love what they did. Losing KD and Kyrie and getting Bridges, Dinwiddie, Smith, then Cam Thomas, emergence. I really like the Brooklyn Nets team. We got the Warriors and the Pelicans. That should be good. You got my Lakers versus Timberwolves. Hopefully they win. And then you got the Kings versus the Clippers. That's gonna be a good one. That's tonight. That's the 9 p.m. game for me Central Time. So, hey, look forward to seeing me again. For sure, next Tuesday. Look forward to seeing me. I'm going to have some more YouTube shorts, man. I miss y'all. Like I said, it's NBA. It's go time. This your boy Tez. Hot Dines TV. We're bringing that fire. And we keeping the 100. I see you on the next one.